Yo, what is going on, guys? TymeStopper here, coming back at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, in this video, we're going to be talking about the impending dupe system that Plarium has already announced will be coming to the game in just a little bit of time. And we're going to be talking about why it is set up to fail no matter what they do. That's right, whether they come out with something that's awesome or something that's terrible, it really won't make a difference. In the eyes of the players, in the eyes of the community, it is going to fail no matter what they do. So let's jump into the video. Okay, guys, today we're going to be talking about the dupe system and why I believe that in the long run, it is going to fail in the eyes of the player base and in the eyes of the community. Now, don't get me wrong. Plarium could be cooking up something awesome for us. It could be the best dupe system that we've ever seen. It could be something that copies another game that we love. It could be something that is brand new. It doesn't make a difference. No matter what they do in the eyes of the player base, in the eyes of the community, and the sentiment of everyone is going to be that it is going to be a fail. And we have no one to blame but ourselves when you think about it. So before we talk about why I think it's going to fail, it's important to understand why we think things fail in the game to begin with. And that's because for us to first understand why we think things fail in the game, we have to look at ourselves. We have to look at the information we are spreading. One of the best examples of us spreading misinformation as a player base, as a community, is something that most recently happened in the game that kind of got everybody in an uproar. But 90% of people got it wrong. So what am I talking about? Well, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that one of everybody's favorite champions in the game, Eurogrim, is getting a nerf in the upcoming patch, right? So Eurogrim was recently introduced to the game as a Epic Void champion. Now, this guy is, no one can argue, this guy is easily overpowered to be an Epic Void champion. Under his current state, he even outshines several legendary champions. Now, from a standpoint of a player base, sure, you love that, right? He's easy to get, well, easier to get than a legendary would be, and he performs better than the legendaries are. But when you think about it, that makes no sense whatsoever, right? You expect that a rare would outperform the majority of uncommons. You would expect that an epic is going to outperform rares, and you would expect that a legendary is going to outperform epics. Now, sure, there could be skills that one has that another doesn't have, and vice versa, but you can easily see that Eurogrim's best comparison is to none other than Bad El-Khazar. And if you look at Bad El-Khazar's skill set and Eurogrim's skill set, you can see that most everything that Bad El does, Eurogrim does better. Sure, Bad El has a cleanse on there, Eurogrim doesn't. But at the end of the day, oh, and of course, Bad El has the ability to do extra damage because of poisons. It doesn't change the fact that Eurogrim is way overpowered, right? So at the end of the day, they had no choice but to, of course, nerf him a little bit, right? Now, as soon as they announced it, every single person on the planet that plays this game started losing their minds. Now, they lost their minds because, one, they've probably invested in the champion or, spent a bunch of money getting shards, pulling him and things like that. Or two, they watch a lot of the videos that are put out by the content creator community at large. And I got to be honest with you, and this is where it gets a little controversial. I'm super disappointed at a lot of the content creators for this game. The reason that I say that I'm disappointed at a lot of the content creators for this game is because at the end of the day, your goal as a content creator when you put videos out on YouTube is to get people to click on your thumbnail and come watch your video. You do that through catchy thumbnail graphics, through salacious titles or, intriguing titles and things like that. But at the end of the day, controversy gets clicks. That's a fact. If you look at any channel, some of the most controversial channels are always the ones that are the most watched. They get the most clicks, everything like that, right? So almost every content creator put out misinformation about Eurogrim and about the fact that he was in a 10x shard pull event and then got nerfed. Now, the truth is that is just simply not true. How do I know that? Very, very easy. So if we go back to the Plarium forums right here, you can see that in update 4.50, this is where they added the champions. And if you scroll down here, you'll see this Doom Tower champions. And then if you keep scrolling, you're going to get to a point where you see your man, none other than Eurogrim, was added in patch 4.50. Not the day the patch launched, a little bit after that when, they made the champs go live and things like that. But essentially in patch 4.50, right? So all these content creators are putting out videos, getting you to click, getting you outraged about how terrible it is that Eurogrim got nerfed. And sure, it's not great that he got nerfed. But the fact is that they drove the narrative into the ground, and even worse, by trying to convince you that he was in a 10x. Well, the facts are he just flat out wasn't in a 10x. How do I know that? Well, I can easily go over here to ayumie.love.net, and my man keeps a pretty meticulous calendar of all of the 10x champions and things like that in the game. So if patch 4.50 was added to the game, okay, so if we scroll back up, right, this is patch 4.50. We know that patch 4.50 was added on August 5th. So if we go back since August 5th, here is August 14th. You can see here are the 10x champions. No Eurogrim. August 27th. No Eurogrim. All the way down through here. At no point was Eurogrim in a 10x event. Sure, there were some 2x void events since then, and some people probably spent a bunch of money pulling void shards trying to get Eurogrim because he was overpowered, but that's on them. That is not on Plarium. Plarium did not go ahead and try to bait you in to going out and pulling a bunch of shards to try to get him on a 10x and then insta-nerf him. It was not some nefarious thing. Did they screw up? Yes, 100%. They knew he was overpowered before they added him to the game. The content creators that had early access to him told them that he was overpowered and that he should have, not had the stats that he had or not had some of the skills to be as strong as he had. And yes, there are ways to easily fix this. I used to play a game prior to this called Fortnite Save the World. Now, a lot of people know the game Fortnite, but they don't know Fortnite Save the World. Save the World is the PvE version of it. And in that game, you get schematics throughout the game. And whenever they make a change to a schematic, they give you a one-time reset. Basically, like, it's built into the game. So if they change a schematic, which is what you use to make a weapon. So if I make a Nocturno, one of the most powerful weapons in the game, right? I can craft that weapon. But if the company goes and makes a change to that schematic, the next time I go into that schematic and try to make any change, whether I upgrade it, whether I change it, whatever I do, I get a pop-up that says, this is your one chance to reset it. If you make a change, you can reset it now or lose your option to reset it forever, basically. So that's on me then. This is something they could easily add into the game anytime they change a champion, whether it's for good or bad, right? Sure, it's great that champions got buffs and some got nerfs or whatever, but if they were just to simply add a reset mechanic in there. Now, of course, it's going to be super hard to track all of the different facets that go into leveling up a champion and things like that. So it's going to make it difficult for them to give you everything back. But I think that if they were to simply say, okay, you get one-time reset, we'll go ahead and give you 5-star chickens if he's already at level 60. We'll go ahead and give you back any skill tomes that you've put into him. And we will give you a one-time reset of their masteries. Sure, that wouldn't fix everything because maybe you wouldn't have spent the gems on their masteries or run their masteries, or maybe you wouldn't have leveled them up and, spent some resources and whatnot. But I think it would go a long way towards goodwill. Now, what is my point in all this? Well, my point is that the community at large just gets it wrong. Anytime they do something like this, the community at large just wants to get mad. And a lot of times it's the content creators driving that. The big content creators. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of those content creators went back in their comment sections of their YouTube videos and said, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. He wasn't in a 10X. But that didn't change the fact that a lot of people watched the video, got outraged, and just automatically believed the narrative, right? I can prove this because I just had a conversation in my clan today with a member of Discord who told me that he would have been okay if they didn't put him in a 10X. And I was like, no, they didn't put him in a 10X. I'm telling you. And he's like, no, I didn't go for him, but I know for a fact. So I literally had to pull up all the data and prove to him. And then he still wouldn't believe me. It's absolutely insane at the end of the day. So why does this matter for the duplicate system? Well, the truth is that no matter what Plarium does with its duplicate system, right, they've had a long time to either get this right or get this wrong. They've been working on the duplicate system now for what feels like
2,000 years later.
And it makes no difference. There are hundreds of thousands of active daily players in this game, maybe millions. I don't know. We don't have that data, right? But there are tons of players who've drawn experiences from other games, who found things in other games that they liked, things they didn't like, things they found that worked well, things that didn't work well. But at the end of the day, no matter what Plarium decides, it's their game. They can decide what they want to do. It's going to be about the narrative that the content creators drive. Because if the content creators come out and focus on the smallest, minutest detail of this duplicate system and say how they don't like it, that's all the community's going to hear. That's all they'll hear. And unfortunately, that's the community that has the loudest voice. They're the ones that are going to comment in the comment sections of YouTube videos. They're the ones that are going to be in the live streams over on Twitch complaining about stuff. They're going to be the ones that are in your Discord servers saying how much they hate this one thing about it. They're not going to talk about all the good stuff that happened with it or anything like that. They're just going to talk about what's bad, if that's the narrative that the content creators help drive. So I guess this is a plea to all the large content creators out there. When they come out with this system, look at it objectively. Don't look at this like this is your pocket, because the reality is that the people that this most affects are going to be low spenders and free-to-play players. Yes, it is going to affect whales, but whales are always going to be whales. They're always going to spend a ton of money, and they're always going to be light years ahead of the majority of the player base. Plarium cannot cater to them. They have to cater to what they see as the average spender. And if that average spender is $10 a month or $30 a month or $100 a month, whatever it is, that's what their duplicate system is going to be designed to manage. Sure, there will be nuggets in there for people that are whales and some people that are free to play. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about what affects the largest portion of the player base. But if, as a community, all we do is rage about it, it's going to be a fail. I think that they have an opportunity to do something awesome here with the game. Sure, they're probably going to stumble a little bit. No one's perfect. Sure, there's going to be some things that we love about it, and sure, there's going to be some things we hate about it. My challenge to you is to find a way to make it work. It's just like if they release a champion in the game. No champion is perfect. There's things about it that work, things that don't work. But we go out and we find ways to make them work, right? Let's take a look at a recent champion that everyone hated, Samar Gemcursed. Man, when that guy came out, everyone hated him. Literally hated him. There was nobody that was singing his praises. Everybody stuck him in the vault and hated him, right? They come out with Bommel. All of a sudden, everybody's like, wow, Samar Gemcursed? This guy's great. Look what he can do. So give it time. Do not take some knee-jerk reaction to it where instantly you're like, this dupe system is the worst thing in the world. My fear is very simple, that content creators are going to come out with videos. They're going to talk about how bad the dupe system is. Players are going to talk about how bad the dupe system is. Players are going to leave the game. Then Plarium has less incentive to keep working on the game. I'm not saying it's going to die. It's not what I'm saying. Before you go get raged in my comment section. I'm saying that if you're out there creating content for the game, do yourself a favor. Be objective. If you're a player, do yourself a favor. Be objective. It'll be super easy. The game is in a good place right now compared to what it was 6 months, a year, 2 years ago. They're continuing to add stuff, continuing to make it better. Sure, they're going to come out with a dupe system. Some things will probably be good. Some things probably won't be good. Don't let it fail. Don't fall into that trap. But guys, listen. I know I've rambled super long about this. I've talked about some stuff that isn't even about the dupe system. So if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, you know, all that good stuff all the YouTubers tell you to do. And until next time, as always, be good.